Hi guys, it's me again, and yes, I have a hat on. This hat is from Gravity Falls, and I kind of thought at least you would be like, oh wow, cool hat. But actually, what I wanted to do was to take the time to talk a little bit about some TV shows. These are going to include anime, cartoons, and live action stuff that I've been kind of getting into, or I've been already into but haven't spoke about, or I've talked about it a lot and just want to talk about it again. So the reason I'm doing this is to make some recommendations of stuff that you guys can check out. Probably most of this stuff will not be my hair looks crazy, sorry. Anyway, a lot of this stuff will probably not be like stuff on Netflix that you go and watch, because fun fact, I actually don't have an account with them, so I don't really do a lot of like watching of Netflix. But I do know of some of the shows that they have out. There's like 13 Reasons Why. There's like what's the name of that one? Stranger Things. That took me a minute. I was like, I know what it is, but I can't think of the name. I'm familiar with some of that stuff, but I've never watched it. Like, I've seen the characters and stuff, but I've never like sat down and watched the show. But that's not really what we're going to talk about. I'm going to kind of tell you guys some shows that I've been watching here lately. Gravity Falls is on this list for all of you fans of this show. Just hang on, we'll get to it. And so I'm gonna make recommendations based upon some of the stuff that I like, and hopefully you guys will like it too. If you don't, I'm sorry. I try. So I'm gonna put a little bit of everything in here. I'm gonna talk about shows that I've seen, that I've watched, and that I recommend. So like I said, just buckle yourself in. I think I will start with some anime, since my name on here is Otaku. I figured I'd start with that. So I think the first thing that I want to start talking about is an anime that you guys have seen, that I have drawn anyway, and it is an older one. It sort of has the vibe of like James Bond. It's really cool. I think it's funny myself. I don't know. And it's got like a charm to it, so it's like something that you would want to watch more of, pretty much. I recommend you guys check it out. It's called Lupin the Third. I'm pretty sure most people are kind of at least familiar with the name or the idea of this anime. Basically what it is, as I said, it's got a little bit of a James Bond feel to it. It's a thief who is, we're just going to say woman crazy. And he will steal from people whose like morals come into question. So it's got a little tiny bit of like Robin Hood feel, like we're gonna take from the rich or whatever. But instead of him like giving all of the stuff to necessarily the poor, he kind of like spreads it amongst him and his friends. So think what you will about that. It's not like really, really bad. I'm making it sound horrible, that it's like a bad character, but he's not. It's a really good show, I promise. And then you have a police officer or a cop with the Japanese police force, and he is supposed to be trying to catch Lupin, which I just said, Lupin the Third. And Lupin is the grandson. I think that's how that works. Yeah, he's the grandson of a really notorious thief who is supposed to be, who I actually found out was a storybook character. Didn't know that. True story, didn't know that. And anyway, he has a woman that works with him who he's, I guess, in love with or whatever. I don't, whatever. She's not. Here's the thing with anime. I don't really care if a character is a female or whatever. I just don't. I mean, the thing about like getting someone with your looks or whatever. I'm kind of over that stereotype. I like to see a little bit of like substance with the women characters. But anyway, this is good anime. It's kind of old. I think it's from the 70s. I'm pretty sure. It used to run on Toonami so many years back, years and years. Like when I was younger, I remember it. And it's just really good, and you guys should definitely go check it out. Like I said, it's called Lupin the Third. There's several different versions of this. There's like a red jacket one, which is the like second season. Then there's like a green one, which is like used in movies, and blue. All of it's good, really, honestly, all of it's good. Okay, so to move away from that one, because I really do love that one, I'm going to recommend some stuff that's on Toonami currently, but it might be a couple episodes in, so you might have to, like, go back and watch it somewhere. They're playing a new anime that, well, it's new to me. It might not be new to everybody else, but it's new to me. They're playing Black Clover, and they're also playing My Hero Academia. Now, I know the second one that I mentioned is under a different name, but trust me, you don't want to hear me try to pronounce anything. But Black Clover it kind of reminds you of Naruto. The first little bit that I'm like getting into it does. I think I'm about 5 or 6 episodes in. I don't really know. But the premise of this anime is that it is, like I said, it's got a Naruto feel. This whole thing of these two orphan boys who were adopted by a church leader. They end up like becoming rivals, and they want to become this thing in their society that's called a wizard king, which pretty much means that he wants to be the most powerful wizard. Both of the young men end up wanting to be that. And it's this cool like fantasy meets action, a little bit of like romance mixed in there. It's kind of it's everything that you, I guess, want in an anime. So it's kind of neat, or everything that I would want in an anime. I like it so far. Kind of figured I would by the like story and the way they were advertising it. It looked really interesting and like action packed, so I recommend that one. The other one that I mentioned, My Hero Academia, I'm sure everybody's already heard of this one, already seen it, probably already checked it out, probably on the 3rd season. But guess what? I'm not. I'm only on 3rd episode. Judge. But the premise of that is it's got a little bit, like I said, of a Naruto feel, but pretty much it's this young boy who's trying to, just get stronger, and he wants to become a superhero, but he doesn't have the, like, abilities to be anything, which in their society is called a quirk. So he doesn't have one of those, but it's like a really good, if you train, if you work hard, you can become anything type of story so far. Like I said, I'm on the 3rd episode in. Can't judge too much on that. But that one's good. Recommend that. And for the last one that I'm going to mention as far as anime goes is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I think I've already mentioned this one. I probably have. But on the chance that I've not, this one is something you kind of have to have like a taste for, sort of like strange things. It's like you think something will happen, and then something totally off the wall that you never thought about will happen and come into play and be part of the storyline. So you kind of have to start from I personally recommend this from the main beginning of it, like the main start of the show. There's so many seasons and so many volumes as far as like manga goes, and there's so many seasons of the anime. I don't know how many seasons there are, but this one's really cool. It kind of gives you a little bit of a it gives you, I'm trying to think of an anime to compare it to. It has a little bit of that really old one that's kind of strange. I know I'm gonna butcher this. It's called Bo. I know it just trust me. I never watched that one, but it's like the same kind of, you know, crazy looking body types. Like you got a 17-year-old that's like completely ripped or whatever. It's funny. It's interesting. It mixes in history a little bit, but it's like fictional history and actual history. So it's, I mean, you guys, you need to check this out. It talks about immortality. There's vampires in it at some point. I don't want to ruin a whole lot of the story, so yeah. There's a little bit of like mummies if you're into that whole scene. There's, I mean, it's, guys, check it out. It's worth watching. I recommend that one for sure. Okay, so moving out of the anime, which I know that took forever, we're only going to talk about a couple of things that's like, you know, cartoons and live action, so let's do it. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I know that I recorded it. I don't know if I have posted it yet, but so this next thing is something that is a live action show. I recommend everyone check out too. Everything on this list is good, to me anyway. It's called Genius, and there is a first season which deals with the story and the life of Albert Einstein, and then there is a second season which I'm watching currently, and it is about the painter Pablo Picasso. So for all of you that are history buffs, art buffs, science buffs, or you just want to learn more in general, I recommend you watch this one. It comes on the National Geographic channel. It's like a it's kind of like a movie, sort of. It lasts for like an hour an episode or something like that, but it has like a very movie feel. You start from the beginning of both of their lives, and it goes all the way to their, I'm assuming, death. I haven't finished watching the Picasso one yet, but it's good so far. I like it. The Picasso one though has like it'll have like a moment of showing you him as an old man and him as a young adult, so it might be a little confusing for some, but it's pretty good. I've only missed like 2 episodes, but I think it's the 5th or 6th one I'm on. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the number is, but it's a really good show, and I definitely finished the Einstein one, looking at him in a different light than I previously did, kind of understanding the reason that he became a professor, the reason that he studied science and all this other stuff, and I could relate. He had a strong passion for it, as I do with art. But so that's one live action show you need to check out. Another one is, I think everyone's pretty well familiar with this one. It's called Gotham, and to summarize it, it's the storyline of Batman, where he came from and how he got to be Batman. So full disclosure, I've kind of slowed down on watching this one. I watched the first season or 2 or something like that. I know I watched the first season for sure, I know that, but I kind of like slowed down a little bit and kind of like tried to get back into it. But anyway, it's pretty good if you're like a Batman fan or DC Comics, or you want to get into something different. It's good for that. Obviously, I'm going to say this one, watch The Walking Dead. I like it. There's a lot of seasons to it, a whole lot. You might have to start from the... You might be watching it for a while, because there's literally like 7 or 8, maybe 9 years or more worth of like seasons of the show. But I do recommend, if you ever get the free time and you want to get into it, that you try to watch it, because it's real good. I've personally not read the comics, so I don't really know what to expect. It's taking some twists and turns. It's kind of hard to have like a favorite character on this show, because, oh my god, they're killing everybody off. Spoiler alert, they're killing everybody off. And so those are my like live action shows. Those are the ones usually that I watch. Obviously I watch things like America's Got Talent sometimes. Sometimes I watch American Idol, which it's not on anymore. The finale's already over. But another thing that I watch, I forgot, this is technically live action too, so I'm gonna tell you. Surprise, surprise, I watch a little bit of WWE wrestling sometimes, not all the time. Like, I watch it. There's nothing wrong with liking it. That's not the problem here. It's just sometimes the storylines get a little kind of stale, and it's like something I've already seen, so I don't really pay attention, but I do watch it, so you can check that out if you want. If you don't, it's totally fine. But as far as cartoons go, I've obviously been watching new Family Guys. I've already made a thing on that. Steven Universe is a good one. Amazing World of Gumball. I made a whole video on like what is good things that are not anime. So if you want to see that, it's still up. And I want to talk a little bit about Gravity Falls really fast. I know this video has been taking forever, but let's talk about that. So, Gravity Falls, I'm just now getting like into, well, I got into it during like Christmas time, or close to December, January, in that time frame. And that's because they marathoned it on Disney Channel, and I sat down and watched, I'd say, the last 5 or 6 episodes. I've been trying to watch the first bit of it, but it's kind of like hard for me to watch all of it. It comes on now as I'm recording this, okay, not when I post this, as I'm recording. It comes on at like 3 a.m. so it's kind of hard to get up while I'm awake, but it stays on until like 6 or 7 or something. But it's kind of hard to like always watch it for that long. So anyway, it's a good show. It's got adventure, there's some fantasy, there's some cool like magic stuff. It's a really good mixture for a cartoon. It's kind of like those, it looks like an average like camp looking setting, but it's like this crazy stuff happens in this little town. I recommend everybody try to go watch that one as well. I don't want to give spoilers away in this, so I'm not like getting super deep into each show, but it's a good show. This hat that I just shown, for all of you that are not Gravity Falls fans, this hat is for the one of the characters whose name is Dipper, and I plan on eventually doing a Dipper cosplay, so look out for that. I'm trying to figure out if I should use my actual hair, because it's kind of brown like his, or if I should get a wig. I don't really know yet, but we'll figure that out as it comes. I just want to throw in two more live action shows really quick, and then this video will be done. The first show that I'm going to mention, both of these are Disney Channel shows, and wait, three live action shows I'm going to recommend that they used to come on Disney Channel, and I'm not talking about like Lizzie McGuire or none of that. I'm talking about kind of like modern ones that I felt was pretty good and kind of showed what Disney Channel was. So one of them is called Andy Mack, which I do watch and still watch. I'm waiting on some new episodes to come on, actually. Like I said, as I'm recording this. And Andy Mack is just kind of like, it gives you the feel of Lizzie McGuire, but it's like a modern day Lizzie McGuire. So she's like this, it's really cool. It incorporates an Asian family, which I think's bomb. And it has this young girl. She finds out this secret that's been going on with her family, and it makes the family dynamic a little different. So you guys definitely go watch that one. It's good. That's also a good one for like your kids or your young teenagers or something like that. It's a good show for them to watch. I think it really instills like what Disney Channel is about. There's also a character in the show who is a male, and he comes out and says that he likes one of his best friends, or friends if you want to call them that, who is also a male. So that's kind of big for Disney Channel, you know, slowly integrating into like everyone, like showing every different type of person, which they just treat it like it's whatever. I mean, it's real cool. And the other two live action things are reboots of old school Disney shows that you guys need to watch. I'm not going to talk a lot about, but it is a reboot of That's So Raven. It's called Raven's Home, and it is about her and her kids, and you see Chelsea on there. It's neat. And then they do a Boy Meets World reboot, which is Corey and Topanga's kids, and it's called Girl Meets World. You guys can check those out probably on Disney Channel or like a Disney app or something. And hopefully I recommended some shows that you will want to watch, and if you're a parent, maybe your kids could watch some of the Disney shows that I mentioned. I didn't find anything personally wrong with them, but it's your decision as a parent, as I always say, to let your kids watch something or not mine. I just tell you what I like to watch, and you watch if you want to, and that's totally fine. So if you want to talk about any of these shows with me personally, my social medias are down in the description. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment whatever you want. Please do be kind. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I post a new video every Saturday. You don't want to miss the new videos I have coming up. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Saturday.